I don't know about you guys, but do you ever find yourself driving, like maybe you're going home from work, maybe you're going home from the gym, or maybe you're just driving somewhere and, you hit a red light, there's a, stupid driver in front of you, there's someone that takes too long to go, and you find yourself getting like very frustrated. It's something that it happens to me a lot, and I'm not someone that ever like road rages or something like that. Like I literally have never done that. I've never like, ever gotten mad at someone to an extreme amount over that. But like internally, like to myself, I'll find myself getting annoyed when like people take too long to go or like things take too long. And honestly, that's just part of me being impatient, right? But the thing is, we live in a world that worships speed, right? Worships grinding harder, sleeping less, moving faster. You see a lot of like, interviews of people talking about how they like, they sacrifice sleep to chase their dreams. But the thing is, what if I told you that slowing down and actually getting rest, right, not speeding up, might actually be the one thing that saves your life? Because here's the truth, guys. Stress is killing us. Stress is one of the leading causes of death and one of the leading causes of aging as well. And burnout isn't just about being tired. It's your body screaming at you to stop. And yet most people ignore it until it's too late, quite frankly. And in this video, I wanted to, kind of break down why slowing down isn't a weakness. It's a strategy, right? It's survival. And it might just be the most powerful thing you ever do, to be honest. So this is one thing I've noticed in my own life where I've always been an impatient person, and I think that having a healthy balance of impatient and a sense of urgency is good. Like, you don't want to be the opposite, right? Like, when I walk into Chipotle, okay, and I want to get a Chipotle bowl, I can't stand the workers that take their sweet-ass freaking time, and they don't even, like, say, like, how you doing today, and they're just so slow, no sense of urgency. So I'm not saying be like that, but what I am saying is, burnout is not a badge of honor, right? People talk about hustle culture. People talk about, always, making more money, which, like I said, I'm a fan of. But you should still do it tactically and do it with a strategy to the point where you're not actually killing yourself for stress, right? Chronic stress leads to anxiety, heart problems, insomnia, even depression. For the people that know me in my personal life, this is something where I've talked about before, like to friends and family, but I've always been someone that has a hard time, falling asleep. It's gotten better, I would say, the last 6 months, especially ever since I changed up my diet, workout routine, and I started walking every morning. It's actually helped a lot with my circadian rhythm and going to sleep. So it doesn't affect me as much as it did, but pretty much my whole life from probably 16 to like, early 20s, I couldn't sleep well. And fun fact about me as well, I've only taken one nap in my life and was in 5th grade when I had the swine flu, literally. And I was like super ill and I took a nap. This is the only time I've ever taken a nap in my life. I'm not saying this to try to brag or something, but my point is like I have always been someone who's been an overthinker. I have a loud mind when I try to go to bed at night. When my head hits the pillow, I'm not someone that can just fall asleep instantly, right? And the thing is, like, stress and burnout can be something that leads to this as well. And in my life, is it because of burnout? Is it because of stress? I don't know. I mean, I would say for sure it's probably some stress. But at the same time, I've gotten better at managing my stress completely naturally, by the way. I don't take any type of prescription medications or anything like that. But I've always been someone that's had anxiety, someone that I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was a younger kid. I never decided to go on medication, though, or anything like that. But I've just kind of lived with it. And I'm not saying that's necessarily the best thing or not. But, when you're constantly stressing about success, you're constantly stressing about your job, you're constantly stressing about, your relationships, your family, whatever it may be, you do got to realize that more often than not, it leads to more harm than good, right? A lot of guys out there and women, stress about, like their girl cheating on them or like their girl leaving them. Honestly, bro, like if your girl's going to leave you, if she's going to cheat on you, there's literally nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. So why would you stress about it? Like, seriously. And that was a revelation I had. Like, at the end of the day, if my girl cheats on me and leaves me, guess what? That's fine. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I know my value. I know what I bring to the table. And I know that I have a good future for myself, my future family. And if that happens, it happens, right? And you guys need to have that mindset too. Obviously, you should want to stay together. You should want to have close friendships. You should want to stay close to your family. You should want to, do well in your career and things you're passionate about. But at the end of the day, if people screw you over, if people lie to you, if someone stabbed you in the back per se, a lot of times there's nothing you could have done about it. So just don't stress about it. And from stress, from burning out at work, from overworking, all these relate back to just stress and anxiety. And I don't want people constantly stressed about these things. We live in the most stressed world, I would argue, ever. I mean, obviously people have always been stressed, right? Like when the Mongol hordes were raiding villages and slaying people, I'm sure they were pretty stressed. I'm sure they were pretty stressed for sure. So I'm not saying that this didn't exist. But we do live in this world now where because of social media, because of this instant gratification, because of seeing all these things online and the fear mongering, I do believe that we live in the most stressed society of all time. And to be honest, guys, stress will kill you if you let it. There is many, research, studies or just researchers in general show that, increased cortisol levels from stress overall just weakens your immune system and it shortens your lifespan, right? So there's two sides to every coin, right? Like you want to try to progress, you want to self-improve, you want to, make more money, start a business, you want to get, in shape, whatever it may be. Those things are good. And I encourage you guys to do that, right? But at the same time, if you're stressing about becoming successful 24/7, you're probably going to die 10 years earlier anyway from the fucking stress. So it's like, don't let the stress overtake your own, mind. Like you still have to have control of your mind in a reasonable extent, right? So worrying about everything is a hidden killer because your mind never turns off. And coming from someone, myself, who has dealt with this a lot of my life, like when my head hits the pillow at night, a lot of times, like over the last couple of years, like my mind was racing, was worrying about this, worrying about that. And it's just not worth it, right? I heard this before, so I didn't make this up, but I heard this, that fear is false expectations appearing real. A mentor told me that a while ago, and I like that. I like that a lot because 90% of the stuff I've been afraid of or like thought would happen, like normally didn't happen, right? In all my past relationships, I thought like my girl would cheat on me. They never have. And but before, whether it was high school sports or whatever it may be, I thought that I was going to do bad. Never did. When I used to compete in powerlifting competitions or like, weightlifting stuff, I thought, oh, I won't be able to lift this weight. Normally always did, right? So like a lot of the stuff I feared didn't happen. Or like when I did a lot of landscaping and lawn care work, like, oh, like when I back this trailer into this parking spot, I might hit their car, etc. Like never did, right? Like I've never actually, I wouldn't say never, but most of the times, like the things that I was afraid of or like feared would happen just didn't happen, right? So my advice to you guys, if any of you guys are listening to this and you're dealing with this in terms of like you're trying to go to bed and you're really stressed, you're really anxious, like just, I know it's easier said than done. Trust me. I'm not saying it's easy. I know it's hard to do, but you need to only focus on the things that actually truly matter and actually have a very good chance of happening, right? So I saw a podcast, this was probably 6 months ago, and there was a guy, Gary Brecker, on there. I'm sure some of you guys have probably heard of him. He's like that, he's like a health guy, like health influencer, I guess. He used to be associated with Grant Cardone, then they had a falling out, and he has his own company now. But I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to like get into like the specifics, but he mentioned something along the lines of, like I said, don't quote me on this, but he mentioned something along the lines of people with ADHD, basically the actual problem is they're like letting too many thoughts and too many different things into their mind at once, and their brain cannot process them fast enough. So he basically gave an example of like, it's like you're living in a house and you have all these windows open with all these sunlights coming in, and you're trying to watch all the windows at the same time and cater to all the windows at the same time, or he recommends shutting 90% of the windows and only focusing on maybe 2 or 3 windows. And ever since I heard that, it sounds crazy, but it actually has changed my life a lot. Like when I be working, like whether I be making calls, sending out emails, writing up proposals, whatever it may be, if I'm doing work on like business stuff or like in my job, I would always be wondering, like, oh, like, what am I going to do at the gym today? Like, did my friend text me back yet? Like, am I going to hang out with my girlfriend today? Like, and did I get groceries? Did I throw laundry in the washer and dryer? Like, did I text my mom and dad back? Like, what's going on with my dog? Like, is my dog okay? Like, my truck, I got to take my truck into the shop. Like, oh, like, when's the last time I looked at this or checked this? Is the thermostat on? Like, oh crap, like I left this door unlocked. Like, I'd always think about all these different things constantly. And then I consciously started just focusing on what I was doing in the moment. And like I said, guys, it's not bad to plan ahead. It's not bad to plan long-term and have a strategy. I would still recommend that. I would still recommend being tactical in your life. But you need to still master the art of only doing what's necessary and only focusing on what you actually need to focus on in that moment, right? Eliminate busy work, distractions, and energy leaks, right? You don't need 100 goals. You need one that actually matters, right? Or a couple, right? Maybe 2 or 3. But at the end of the day, like, you don't need 100 things you're worrying about at once. You need 1 or 2 to 3 max, right? So slowing down gives you more control, right? Slowing down helps you make better decisions, be more present, and enjoy life. Whether that's journaling. I personally don't really journal. It's not something I do, but I've heard from talking to people it helps. Taking walks. This is something I do. I walk every morning and a lot of times at night as well. Deep breathing, meditation, those things have helped me as well. And just saying no and just being more mindful, right? Just being more strategic with your time, only focusing on what you actually need to focus on. And just like I said, being mindful of these things. And honestly, guys, you reclaim power when you do this. And it's honestly truly beautiful. It's a really good thing that I've noticed. So slowing down isn't about doing less, right? The reason I wanted to make this video is because I want you guys to go after your goals. I want you guys to kill it in life. I want you guys to have success, but I want you to do it in a smart way, be mindful, and don't kill yourself from the stress over it, right? Slowing down isn't about doing less. It's about doing what actually matters. We weren't built to be on 24/7. This is only a recent phenomenon, right? Like back in the day, the boomers, right? They would work their, shift and go home, and there was no cell phones. They would just sit on their recliner, like sit out in the back porch and watch the dog run around the yard and stuff like that, right? So now with this whole blend of like remote work, hybrid work, cell phones, mobile phones, like all, social media, all these type of things, now it's like we're more on 24/7, but you need to be mindful and you need to be cognizant of this and actually block out time to meditate, deep breathing, walking, actually relaxing before you go to bed. And you will notice you will feel less burnt out. I've even seen this before in my life, just making time for yourself and your mind to be quiet and to think, right? So we weren't meant to chase a never-ending to-do list while ignoring our health, our relationships, and quite frankly, our peace. Sometimes the strongest thing you guys can do is to stop, breathe, and delete the unnecessary. Say no. Take a walk. And like the good old saying that people used to say when you would, make fun of someone on Call of Duty, touch grass, bro. Go. I want you guys watching this video. After this video, I want you to put your guys' phone or laptop down and go touch some damn grass. Like, seriously. It's probably good for you. So let me ask you guys this. If you made it this far in the video, I want to say thanks for sure. And I appreciate all the people who watch these. But let me ask you guys this. When's the last time you truly slowed down? Or maybe, even go deeper in the question, what's an activity you like to do, or like what's something that you like to do or that comes top of mind when you do want to slow down, you do want to relax, you do want to decompress? Maybe it's video games, right? Maybe it is, but maybe something besides that. And what would happen if you gave yourself permission to stop rushing, even for just a day? Like, really think about it, guys, and let me know in the comments below. But let's talk about it. Like always, guys, I appreciate all the subscribers and all the people watching these videos. If you ever want to book a one-on-one call with me and talk about anything with life or career, I have multiple links in my YouTube description. But regardless, guys, I appreciate the love and support. And if this hit home, share it with someone who needs a reminder to take their foot off the gas. Level Up Strategy out.